So the class is being recorded, and this is going to be our usual. Every time we meet, we're going to record the class for future reference. Okay. So for recording purposes, my name is Dr. Sami Habib Jalil, and this is EL111, and I'll be teaching you this course, inshallah, this semester. So what is it that we're supposed to do now? We're going to go over the course calendar, as I said. Let me share the course calendar with you, and then we are on our way. Okay. So can you see the course calendar?
دكتور في صدى في صوتك.
Okay. Can you do you still hear this echo kind of thing? Can you still hear it?
It's all good, doctor.
It's okay now, right? Okay. So my question was about what meets the eye. What is it that you can see on the screen? Can you see EL111 calendar?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
we can.
Okay, so please mute your mic, everyone. So this is the calendar, and a calendar is like a roadmap. You know what a roadmap is? Roadmap is if you have a car and you're traveling somewhere, you need to have a map of the road, okay? And you cannot move around. You cannot perhaps go from point A to point B, for example, unless you have a map. So this is going to be our roadmap. The course calendar that we have tells us about the number of weeks that we have, tells us about the material that we should cover every time we meet, and it also tells us about the exams and assessments. Okay, so of course you know that this course is bi-weekly, and bi-weekly has obviously two meanings. It would mean that people perhaps meet twice in a week, or it means people meet once every 2 weeks. And this the second definition or meaning is the one that we have. We meet once every 2 weeks, okay? Which means that we have a class today on Tuesday. It means that next week we're not meeting, okay? We're meeting the week after, okay? Okay. So this leaves us with how many weeks? Perhaps we will meet 7 or 8 times, okay? So is that enough? No, that wouldn't be enough, because the book, like Muhammad or Ahmed said, is big and heavy-handed and everything. That's why I'll be calling for extra classes from time to time. Okay, so this is our first week. And every time we meet, like I said, we will be doing components or sections from the book. The book is divided into 5 themes. And the word theme is close to the word unit or chapter. You're familiar with those traditional labels, chapters and units. But this time around, we're using a different label, and the label is the word theme. Okay, the word theme means exactly the same as chapter or unit. So how many themes do we have? We have 5 themes. Okay, within every and each theme, you have a number of skills. Okay, and it's a pattern that gets repeated in every and each theme. So what are the skills that we're going to address in every and each theme? As you can see, you have listening, you have speaking, reading, and of course, writing. So these are the 4 skills that we're going to address every time we meet, okay? So again, we have 5 themes, and in every and each theme, you have listening, you have speaking, reading, and writing. Are we going to finish a whole theme in one go or in 1 week in a class like this, 2 hours? No, we won't be able to do that, because the theme is big. That's why we normally divide it over 2 times or 2 sessions or 2 meetings, okay? We normally start with listening and speaking, and then perhaps in the following class we do reading and writing. It depends on the time, it depends on the extra classes that we're going to cover. We need to handle the material in a comfortable way. So in order for us to do just that, perhaps we need to give extra classes, and this is what I plan and intend to do, inshallah. Okay, so if you look at the calendar, like I said, we have a number of weeks. So you have week 1, and then you skip week 2, and then we have week 3, and then we skip 4, and then we have 5, and we skip 6, and we move to 7 and skip 8 until we come to week 15. Okay, right. Normally, when we start a theme, we start with the listening and speaking part, and then we make the transition to reading and writing, like I said. Okay, so if you look at the calendar, you can always tell what is it that we are going to handle today. So what is it? It's going to be basically listening and speaking, together with introducing, of course, the course and talking about the calendar, which what we're doing right now. Okay, so and then you go on until we finish the course and the 5 themes, of course. Okay, right. Do we have exams and assessments? Yeah, of course. Like any other course, you will have a number of assessments. Assessments means evaluations. Okay, in order for us to give you grades out of 100, we need to test you. We're going to test you a number of times. So why do we test you? Because we're trying to make sure that you guys have understood the material, that you guys have now improved in terms of skills and everything. Okay, so our first assessment or our first exam is going to be in week 5. Can you see that? In week 5, we will have quiz 1. Right, and in week 9 or perhaps 8, we need to agree on that. Perhaps later, we're going to have quiz 2 in week 9, and then in week 11 we will have. In week 13, perhaps earlier, a week earlier than that, we will have quiz 3. Sometimes we call it quiz 3, and sometimes we call it a TMA. TMA means tutor marked assignment or teacher marked assignment. It's an assignment that we give you, and the teacher marks it, okay? And then perhaps between week 14 and 15, we will have the final exam. Okay, so this is a table that sums up the whole idea when it comes to exams and assessments. Okay, so again, you will have quiz 1, quiz 2, quiz 3 or TMA, or sometimes we call it, instead of saying quiz 3, we call it a TMA, and then you have the final exam. So like I said, quiz 1 is going to be in week 5, and it's going to cover theme 1. Okay, so what are the skills that we're going to be tested on? You're going to have reading, grammar, and vocabulary. Okay, so these are you'll have questions on reading, questions on grammar, and questions on vocabulary. And then and this is going to be out of 12.5, sometimes out of 13. It's something in this neighborhood anyway. And then you will have quiz 2, like we said, in week 9, and it's going to cover themes 2 and 3, and it's going to also address reading, grammar, and vocabulary. And then quiz 3 is out of 20, and it's going to cover, it will be mainly writing with its different types. Writing does not mean that you have to write an essay. You can also be given a text, and this text is full of errors and mistakes, and we ask you to edit it. Editing means that you correct the errors and the mistakes. And this is going to be, like I said, in week 12, and this is going to be out of 20. And then the final exam is going to be out of 50, and it covers all five themes, and it's going to have reading, grammar, vocabulary, and writing. Final exam is normally computerized, unless something happens and we cannot do it online, and in this case we will agree on how we're going to assess you. Is that clear, everyone?
Yes,
Yes.
everything's clear.
Okay. I'll share that with you. I would like you to take advantage of the course page, the EL111 course page. I'm going to put a lot of material on it. I would like you to go there from time to time so that you can get updated about the times of the exams, the material to download. I'm going to upload a soft copy of the book that you can access and download. So it would be worth your while to go there and check and see the updates. Okay, so this is as far as the course calendar is concerned. If you have any questions about that, just come to the mic, identify yourself, and ask.
Please, Doctor, may I ask you?
Yeah,
Do we have any PowerPoint slides, or we will depend on the book?
we will depend on both the book and also slides. Okay, but you didn't identify yourself. Remember when I said whenever you come to the
Yeah,
mic,
I'm so sorry. I'm so
it's
sorry.
okay. What's your name?
I'm Marwan.
Marwan. Okay. Thank you, Marwan. Okay. Anybody else before we proceed?
Yeah, can I?
Yeah, what's your name?
My name is Nof.
Noor.
Nof.
Noor.
The exam,
Mm,
first quiz.
mm.
We have a paragraph to write, or no?
Or no? Quiz one is going to be reading, grammar, and vocabulary. So you're not going to write anything. You're going to perhaps there is going to be a reading passage that you're going to understand and then answer the questions accordingly. You'll have grammar questions and vocabulary. No writing in the first quiz. No writing in the second quiz. The writing will appear in the third quiz. And of course, the final. Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, one more question before we leave this part.
Yes, doctor, can I ask a question?
Okay, yes, go ahead.
The
Name, please.
university,
Name.
my name
Name,
is Abdurrahman.
Abdurrahman.
The university said that in the week nine,
Mm.
the exam will not be online, will be in the university itself. Is this right?
Um, why? Why specifically in week 9? Why?
I don't know. They said that,
Where did they say that?
and
It's a new semester, yeah, Abdurrahman. We haven't said anything yet.
yeah,
We didn't say anything yet, okay?
yeah,
So keep to whatever I am saying in class, keep to whatever we say on the university website. And also, like I said, watch and follow the LMS page of EL111 very closely. This is where you should get your information. Is that clear?
okay. Thank you, doctor.
Okay, you're welcome. Right. I'll leave this part and go somewhere else. Okay. So where um,
Excuse me, teacher.
yes.
My name is Khaled. I want to ask you about exam and grade. أو لو توزيع الدرجات كيف بيكون؟
Okay. I think we covered that. We said that we will have two quizzes, and those two quizzes are going to be out of 25 or out of 30. Okay. And then you have a third quiz, which is out of 20. When you put them together, you have 50 marks before you go to the final. And then the final is out of 50. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
So you're welcome. In order, and this is very important, everyone, in order for you to do the final, you have to score at least 15 in the 3 quizzes. Okay, so 15 out of 50. So what happens if you score less than 15 in the pre-final quizzes, you don't go to the final exam. And even if you go to the final exam, we don't accept your final. If you score 50 out of 50 in the final exam, you still fail the course because you have scored less than 15 in the pre-final quizzes and in the 3 quizzes that we spoke. So make sure that you don't score less than 15 in the 3 quizzes that we have before the final. Another very important issue about the exams is also the fact that you have to score at least 20 in the final exam. Okay, so you score 20 in the final exam, and then you put the 20 together with the rest of the quiz marks, and then you have your score. So sometimes you have people who scored 50 or perhaps 55, but they still fail the course. Why do they fail the course? Because their final exam is less than 20. Is that clear?
Doctor,
Yes.
is there assignment?
Quizzes. We will give you quizzes that you should do online. Online means that you will have a quiz, a typical quiz where you have grammar, vocab, and reading, and sometimes writing. And we give you perhaps 2 hours. You download the file, you work on the file and complete it, and then you upload it again within the 2 hours that we gave you. Okay, we don't have quizzes that last for 2 or 3 days like we used to do. Not anymore. Make no mistake about it. Okay, so exams are not going to last for 2 or 3 days anymore. You will be given a quiz that stays with you for perhaps 2 hours, or the maximum would be 3 hours. Is that clear?
How many quizzes?
I think you were on another planet or something for the past 15 minutes. Yeah. What's your name? What's your name?
Dalia.
Dalia, we said that we have 3 quizzes, remember?
اوكي انا يعني ابغى الكلام يكون شوي بطيء عشان استوعب.
طيب ما فيش مشكلة، احنا بس بنهزر، ما تزعليش مننا يعني لو هزرنا شوية وكده. اوكي؟
لا اصلا ماني فاهمه الانجليش، يعني عادي
لا.
هزر براحتكم بالانجليش.
طيب احنا عندنا 3 اختبارات، عندنا كويز 1 وكويز 2 وكويز 3. كويس؟ The first 2 quizzes تقسيمتهم لا اما يبقوا من 25 لو حسبنا درجات لانه في حضور ومشاركه، ده حاجه هنحددها لسه، هيبقى لا اما من 25 او 30. وبعدين يبقى في 20 درجه بتوع الكويز الثالث اللي احنا بنسميه TMA، وده بيبقى من 20. لو وضعتي كلهم مع بعض هيبقى عندك 50 قبل ما تروحي الفاينل.
اوكي يعطيك العافيه. اي الحين فهمت. شكرا.
Okay. طيب this is the book. This is a copy, a soft copy of the book, where the title is Progressive Skills in English, Level 2. Okay, so it's skills that we are addressing. You know what skills are, right? So what's a skill? Yeah, go ahead. Come to the mic and share. So what's a skill?
مهارة.
Can we keep our Arabic to a minimum, an absolute minimum? Yeah, try. If I ask you about the meaning of something and you don't know how to tell me the meaning, you can simply give me an example. If I say a skill, and you don't know how to kind of communicate that in English, you can say driving is a skill, right? Right?
like practice for any field.
Yeah, excellent. It's being proficient, being skillful, being good at something. So to have a skill means that you are good at something. So what are these some things that people can be good at? You can be skilled. Go ahead. Go ahead.
It means the ability to do something well.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good. So it's the ability to do something good. It's being good at something. Yes. Go ahead.
Manage time.
Well, this is a skill. This is now you guys are giving me, examples of skills. So, like I said, driving a car is a skill. What else is a skill?
Make
May I?
decisions.
What?
Make decisions.
Making decisions can be a skill. Yes, not all of us can make good decisions when we need ones, right? Very good.
Fixing problems, doctor.
Yeah, yeah, fixing problems. Yes.
Acceptance.
What?
Maybe it's something we're capable to do.
Yeah. Do you think teaching is a skill?
Yeah, it's scary.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yes. Yes, exactly. So yeah.
Flexibility. It's a
What?
skill.
Um,
Flexibility.
Flexibility, being flexible. Yeah, it is a skill indeed. Okay, you didn't talk to me about, plumbing is a skill. If you have a plumber, if you have something, if you have, something is not working in your house, in the kitchen, perhaps you can call the plumber, the plumbing, and when he comes and he uses his tools in order to have your perhaps pipes fixed or your water taps fixed. This is a skill, right? Writing is a skill, and we have a writer with us who I don't remember her name, right? She mashallah has published a book already. This is a skill, right? Singing, no, singing is a talent. No, it's not a skill. So let's make this distinction between skills and talents. You know what a talent is?
Yeah, talent,
Okay.
it's something given.
It's something given by God, right?
Yeah. But
So
skills, you can
yeah,
earn it.
yeah,
You can earn the skills.
yeah. What's your name?
I am Marwan.
Marwan. Like Marwan is saying, a skill is something that you can develop and you can earn, that you can work on. While a talent or a gift is something that God gives you, and that's why we call it a gift. It's a gift from God, right? Let's talk. Let's make an inventory of the gifts or the talents that people may have. Um, Having
Like writing.
writing is a talent and a gift, and but it can also be a skill that you can learn and develop. Yeah.
I mean that some people can write like stories, but not
Yeah.
regular stories. That's
Yeah, that's interesting.
amazing thing. Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
these people.
Yeah, that's why they are talented and gifted. Yes. Okay. So what else? Let's make an inventory of. Yeah. Go ahead. What?
Drawing and singing.
I'm not sure I heard that.
Drawing and singing.
Yeah. Drawing. Yeah, drawing is a talent. We cannot all draw or paint, right? It takes a talent, right? Singing, yeah, singing is talent. Reciting Quran
Speaking.
in a warm or in a nice voice is also a talent, right? Um, play, playing football and being, very. I mean, it takes a talent to be able to distinguish yourself as a football player, right? We can all play, but we cannot all be Messi or Ronaldo, right? Okay, good. So now let's make. Okay, we're going to make an inventory of the skills that we have in class. How about that? Now we're going to have a skill inventory. You know what an inventory is? If you work in a company, for example, at the end of the year, they make an inventory of all the equipment that they have, the furniture, uh, right? Let me finish defining the word inventory, and then I'll give you the floor. So you know what an inventory is. An inventory is when you have you have a pen or a pencil handy and a piece of paper and say, in this room we have two chairs. In this room we have one computer. In this room we have a desk and perhaps a printer, right? So let's make an inventory of what you have now at home. Let's talk about the room that you have. I just want to make sure that you understand what an inventory is. Let's make an inventory of the things that you have in your
It's
room.
like printing or
What's
stopping.
your name? What's your name? What's your name?
Rehab.
Riham. Go ahead. Riham, you are now in a room, right? Let's make an inventory
Okay, and
yes, go ahead.
a bed,
Mhm.
chair, cupboard, pillow, pencil,
Okay.
desktop.
Thank you. Thank you, Riham.
Yeah.
Can we have somebody else? Yeah.
The right mirror,
And
keyboard.
okay. So you understand what an inventory is, right? So we're going to make an inventory of the skills that we have in class. Somebody knows how to drive, somebody knows how to cook, somebody knows how to play football, somebody knows how to sing, somebody knows, right? Okay, so we're going to talk about the skills that we have in class. Who would like to share with us his or her skill or skills?
I like to
Mm.
draw.
Yeah. What's your name?
My name is Cecile.
As Asil.
Yeah.
So what do you have?
I like to draw and sing. Uh,
Okay.
I know how to design too.
Okay.
By God, I didn't take any courses or something.
Okay. Which means that they would verge on the idea of talent. What you're talking about are talents. And of course, you enhance them, you practice them, and you become very skillful with them, right?
Yeah.
But drawing is a talent, right? You've been,
Yeah, but
uh,
I can't design without taking any courses or some. I have to
yeah,
take courses to be very.
yeah. This is what we're saying, yeah, Asil. We're saying that because it's natural, because it's you don't practice, you haven't practiced it, or you haven't taken any courses for it. We're saying that it is a gift or a talent from God, right? Thank you. Can we have somebody else? Make no mistake about it. We're talking about skills. Skills are things that you learn and earn and develop.
دكتور
Yes, go ahead.
نايف المعافى. I have
Okay.
the skills to run the machine in the land,
Okay.
but also I'm able to fix the electrical parts in the
Excellent.
PLC
Excellent.
and that.
Hmm. Yeah, these are skills. Yeah,
Here,
very
doctor.
good. Anybody else?
Doctor,
Yes.
I am Marwan.
Okay, Marwan, go ahead.
Yeah, I have a physical. I can do physical exercises, a hard physical exercises. I can handstand and muscle up.
Mhm. So this is something that not everybody shares with you, right? It takes a skill. You need to
Yeah,
practice a
it's a
lot.
skill.
Yeah, yeah, very good. Anybody else before we?
Me, I can.
Yes. Okay, Melissa, you do what?
Play on guitar.
Okay, so it started as a talent, right?
Yeah, right.
And then it is now a skill.
Yeah, then I improved myself.
Yeah, and then you started perhaps taking courses or practicing or watch people. Yeah, you started watching people play the guitar and start to copy them, right?
Right.
Okay, okay, thank you. So let
Can I
me,
say?
yeah, okay, go ahead.
Sorry, doctor.
It's okay.
Uh, I have some skills in connecting with people. Uh,
Nice.
I can put something that this person uh, doesn't put this idea in his head every time. That's mean in connecting with him, I make with him conversations, and I will put this idea in his head. No,
You mean the skill of convincing people of something, of
yeah,
winning people
connecting. Yeah,
over to your perhaps your side of the argument. You're talking to
yeah,
somebody and you're trying to win him or her over.
yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah,
Mhm.
this is part of what we call negotiation skills. You know how to negotiate with people and get what you want, right? Okay, so what other skills? Do you think that speaking a language in a good way is a skill?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is a skill,
Yeah,
right? Okay.
yes.
So
But
it's not a talent, because if we say it's a talent, it means that I mean we will not be able to speak, right? So it's a skill that you work towards earning or perhaps acquiring, right? So speaking a language is a skill, right? Um, okay, like we said that I mean cooking, because you have people who are they cook very well, and you have people who are not very good when it comes to cooking. Okay, so now that we have spoken about skills, let's move and make an inventory of the talents that we have in class. Let's make a talent inventory. Um, let's do a bit of what we call talent scouting. Talent scouting means that we scout for talents. We look for them. We just try to discover them. Okay, let's make an inventory of the talents that we have. One of the Melissa plays the guitar. I think this was it took a talent and then she developed it. She took it to the next level by practicing, by perhaps taking courses, right? So Melissa plays the guitar. What other talents do we have in class?
Yeah, here.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's look like the girl that playing guitar have a nice voice. We can make a mix.
Yeah, that's interesting. We can have a band towards the end of the semester. We can have our own band, and I can dance.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. So again, what's your
yeah.
name?
My name is Ibrahim Shuku with O, not with A.
Okay.
Many
So
people.
it's okay, Ibrahim. So Ibrahim
Yeah,
has a nice voice, and
yeah,
we can perhaps later ask or invite him to sing something. So this is another talent that we have. So playing the guitar is a talent that we have with Melissa. Singing is also another talent, and Ibrahim can do that. Who else has talents in class?
Sir,
Yeah, go ahead.
I think a lot of things. It is a mix about talent and skills.
Can you give? Are you talented at all? Do you have? Are you musical? Are you
No,
artistic?
part-
Are you sure?
yeah,
Okay. So it's drawing that we have with somebody. singing, and playing the guitar. Any other talents?
Yes, me, Doctor.
Yes. Yeah, go ahead.
Sam Adnan.
Yeah.
Yeah, my talent is take photography.
Photography. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Yes.
Yeah, and playing skate.
And playing skate, whatever that means. There, some kind of, like skating.
Yeah,
Skate
skate.
for
Skating.
But in the street or like that.
Okay. Right. Any other talents before I leave this part?
Yes, me.
Yeah, go ahead.
I have to say, I can complete the band with the piano player, so guitarist and pianist.
Yeah, okay, excellent. So piano, we have somebody who knows how to play the piano. It's a great talent. Okay, interesting.
And guitar as well. Guitar as well.
No, Melissa is going to play the guitar. Okay, so very
Doctor, for me, theoretical
yeah.
writing and directing, I can do a perfect mixing between them.
Directing, you direct, do you have you produced or have you perhaps made
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
documentaries and stuff like that?
Yes.
Okay, mashallah, interesting. Right. Okay, so these are skills, and of course, what do they mean by the skills? We have main skills and we also have sub skills. If you talk about, it's a course in English, as you know, so obviously the skills that perhaps the writer is referring to would be the skill of speaking, the skill of reading, the skill of writing, right? These are all skills, the skill of forming correct sentences. These are all skills that we are going to develop. But there are sub skills. And when I say sub skills, I don't mean that they are not as important. They are, of course, as important. So, what are those sub skills that we may have in an English course? We can have perhaps the skill of when I talk about reading, the idea of reading fast, the idea of reading for the main idea, the idea of reading, skimming and scanning. These are top skills that we're going to learn. Writing in a certain way can be a sub skill. So writing in general would be the major skill, but under this major skill, you can have sub writing skills like writing different types of essays, knowing the difference between a paragraph and an essay, getting things correct and right from the first time, avoiding perhaps irrelevance, you know, having your target list, correct and right from the first time. Okay. The idea of plagiarism. Are you familiar with the idea of plagiarism? Plagiarism means that people take other people's writing and they say that these pieces of writing are theirs, which is obviously bad, right? So perhaps one of the targets of this course would be the idea of showing you how to avoid plagiarism. Again, plagiarism would be the idea of stealing ideas and stealing idiom. Idiom means you steal the exact same words, and you put them in your essay and you say, listen, this is mine. And of course, we discovered that it's not yours at all. This is also a skill that we are going to teach. The skill of not falling into the trap of plagiarism. Okay.
So, Doctor, what do you
Yes.
think about the accent?
I
Is it a
mean,
secondary or a main skill?
Well, in our world of late, where with all accents are accepted, it's not. I mean, the focus nowadays is on the message, on the idea, on whether you are understood by other people or not. Okay, so if you work in a company, if it's a Chinese company where people, of course, speak and their English perhaps in terms of accent is broken, but you understand their message, which is more important, that you understand or you just try to enjoy the accent and perhaps waste time. So our word of late is very practical and pragmatic. The focus is on communication, on getting your messages across. But of course, having a good accent is a good thing. After all. And it's a skill because it would need a lot of sweat, a lot of energy, a lot of patience. You need to perhaps copy people, you need to watch movies and try to copy and imitate people, right? But it takes time and effort. It is a skill and it's not a talent, make no mistake. Okay? So when I say progressive, when I say that these skills are progressive. Progressive means what? So obviously progressive is an adjective, right?
Yeah.
And it comes from the word progress, right? And it comes also from the word progress. So of course, progress is a noun and progress is a verb. So progress means to move from one stage to another. Progress, right? This is the verb. And progress is what you have achieved over a period of time. So how much progress you made. But that's why we have progress reports. If you work in a company, at the end of the week or perhaps at the end of the month, your boss can ask you or your manager can ask you for a progress report. So what do you include in a progress report? You include what you have achieved, what you have finished, right? So this is progress as a noun, and progress is to, again, to develop, to achieve, to move from one point to another in a developmental way. Okay, so this is progressive. So the skills that we're having in the course are progressive in the sense that we move from one level to another. And of course, the move is in the positive or in the right direction. Moving means developing linguistically, being able to speak, being able to write, being able to listen to stuff in English. So hence the word progressive. So this is level 2. Okay, and these are the themes that we will have. Can you see them? Can you see the 5 themes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So theme 1 is culture and civilization. Theme 2 is technology. Theme 3 is news and media. Theme 4 is sports and leisure. And theme 5 is nutrition and health. So what do you think of the themes? Do you think that they are relatable, things that you kind of like, that they promise to be interesting, or are they far-fetched and they are far removed from your interests? What do you think?
Interesting.
Yeah, you think that they are interesting, and when I say that something is interesting, it doesn't mean that it's funny or something. We mean that I have a stake in what they are about. It means that I relate to them. These are things that perhaps I talk about with my family and friends. These are things that I'm involved in when it comes to technology. I work in a company as perhaps a technical support, like Abdurrahman. He works with electrical stuff. news and media are all over the place now that we have mobiles and we have all the applications there are on them. Sports and leisure. Sports, sports, you either go to the gym or you watch television and watch, games. Leisure, when you try to think of ways as how you can spend your free time. And then nutrition and health. Lots of people are obsessed with the idea of health, right? Health. Yes, go ahead. Yes.
What mean of leisure?
Leisure. Leisure means things that you do in your free time. Leisure time is free time. Yes. And of course, when you talk about health, we talk about nutrition. Nutrition is whatever you take inside your body, and that is good for your body, right? And then certain types of food, certain types of drinks, right? So as you can see, these are all themes and ideas that are, part and parcel of what we do on a daily basis, right? And of course, we're going to start with culture and civilization. This is theme one. Do you guys have any questions so far?
No.
Okay. So this is the book map where you have the 5 themes and you have the ideas therein. So like I said, theme 1 is going to be culture and civilization. And as you can see, the topics that we're going to talk about will be coming of age, festivals, fireworks, horses and bulls, and then celebrations. When it comes to listening, we're going to be talking about a sequence of events that are spoken, and then you try to follow them. You're trying to understand signposts, and we're going to talk about signposts and what they mean, and then identifying singular and plural. And then when you move to the grammar part, you would have present simple, WH questions, how to join sentences using after and before. And then we move to speaking, where we're going to have some skills. We're going to develop some skills like having commenting on something, showing that you understand something. And then finally, you will have the writing part. I think the writing part is below. So with reading, you will have finding information quickly using capital letters, predicting content and stuff, and then the writing would be writing descriptive essays. Okay, let's move to theme 1. Okay. Okay. Whenever you have a book, whenever you have any written material, you normally have illustrations. You know what illustrations are? If you have a text, if you have a book, okay, so you have the printed word or words, and you also have illustrations. Illustrations are pictures and photos and perhaps maps and charts and tables, right? Right? So these are called illustrations. We use them to illustrate. When you think of the word illustrate means to give examples. Why? Why would you give examples? I'm asking you. Why do you sometimes have to give examples? I'm asking you.
To get marks.
To get the
To-
information.
To what?
To enter about our understanding.
No,
To understand more.
No, I'm asking you. You're writing something, and you're giving examples. A lot of them. Why? Why are you doing that? Remember, you're not receiving. You're giving. Yeah, you're explaining something. You're trying to make sure that whoever is going to read your piece understands you. So examples are very important because they explain things.
Yeah, to make everyone understand you.
Yeah, and to make, so you make people understand you through words.
To make the idea near to the reader mind.
Yeah, yes, you, okay, to make the idea.
Explain it for them.
Yes, very good. Okay. So you give examples verbally. Verbally means through words, right? Okay, and sometimes you give examples by giving a picture, by giving a chart. Why? Because sometimes they say, I mean, and this is not sometimes, they normally say that a picture is worth 1,000 words. Did you get that? Did you hear this?
Yeah.
That was clear.
Okay. Do you agree with it?
Yes.
Do you agree with this statement that a
Yeah.
picture is worth 1,000 or
For sure.
1,000? Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So what do we
Yes,
call?
we agree.
Yeah. So giving examples, whether these examples are verbal, verbal means words, or pictorial, pictorial means in pictures, is called illustrations. Okay. So that's why you have, sometimes you have, I'm sure you have heard the word or the phrase illustrated dictionary. When you started back in the day, when you started learning English, if you still remember back when you started learning English, you had an illustrated dictionary. It's a dictionary that has pictures in it, right? Do you have, I mean, I'm asking every one of you, do you have illustrated dictionaries back home?
Yeah, I was.
You have one?
I have one before.
Oh, yeah, yes. And then sometimes it's very urgent and very important when it comes to animals and birds from places that you that are very far away from you. And here in Saudi Arabia, we don't know about the categories of birds and the kinds of birds and animals in North America, right? So when you give me the word in English, it doesn't make a lot of sense or much sense to me because I have never seen those animals, right? So in order to overcome this problem, they give you a picture of the animal, right?
Right.
Okay. So illustration means that you give examples. And how do you give examples? Sometimes you give examples verbally by using words, and sometimes you give pictures and charts and all these kinds of. Again, why would people use examples? In order to make things even clearer to the reader or to the hearer. Okay, do we have such a thing in front of our eyes? Do we have illustrations? Can you see any illustrations?
Yes.
Yes, we have a picture, right? A big one.
You can see it.
You can see it. Can you see that?
Yeah, the picture.
Yes,
Okay.
it's about Chinese girl.
Okay. Right. Whenever we have a picture, I would like you to deal with pictures this way. First of
Agents.
all, when you talk about pictures, you don't say it's a picture about, right? Or it's a picture on. Whenever you have pictures, it's a picture of. So you use the preposition of with pictures and photos, right? So you say it's a picture of people, right?
Of Chinese people.
Okay, that's good. So when we talk about people, this is again, when we talk about pictures and we said that it's a picture of, so a picture can be a picture of people, right? Like here, picture of things.
Wedding.
No, I'm talking generically, in a general way. So whenever you have a picture, so a picture can be a picture of people, a picture of things, a picture of animals, and a picture of places. So what do we have here? Do we have people, things, animals, or places? It's a picture of what?
People.
Picture of a people.
It's a picture of people that would happen, right? Okay. Can you see background, a place? I mean, can you identify or recognize the place?
Japan.
It can be Japan because they look like Japanese people or Korean or Chinese for that matter, right?
It's fine because for them,
What?
They're
It's what?
Japanese.
is not allow for them to put clips with traditional clothes.
They are wearing traditional clothes. Yeah, that's interesting.
I think Japanese folk celebration.
Yeah, it's a celebration. That's interesting. It's a celebration, right?
It's
Um,
Easter.
you think it's a celebration because of what? Why do you think this is a celebration? The celebration is of course a good thing, right? You don't celebrate death, right?
Yes.
You celebrate birth. You celebrate marriage, right? You celebrate graduation, correct?
Yeah.
So these people are happy or sad?
They are happy.
They are happy. Yeah, absolutely.
Happy.
Okay, so this is a celebration. Okay, so this is an illustration. Like I said, I could have written a whole paragraph about them, but it wouldn't have captured what I have seen in a minute, right? So, like I said, a picture can sometimes be worth 1,000 words, like they say. So let's go to theme one. And like I said, the word theme is another word for chapter or unit. Okay, and then you have culture and civilization as the main idea. And then under this main idea, you have sub ideas. What are those sub ideas? You have coming of age, festivals, fireworks, horses and bulls, and then celebrations. When you put them together, what would be the main idea? So if we think of these sub ideas, like coming of age, festivals, fireworks, horses and bulls, and then celebrations, when you put them together, these are key words. So what would be the main idea? What do you think?
Traditional.
Holiday.
Uh, yeah, perhaps holidays. Somebody said
Yeah.
we'll talk perhaps about traditions,
Traditional
different
festival.
festivals and traditional festivals and how people perhaps celebrate certain things in their traditions. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay. So what is coming of age? Let me give you choices, perhaps. So coming of age is which part in your life?
Is
Is it
adult
when
person.
is it when you are a child, a teenager, or an adult?
An adult.
Yeah, adult means that you're mature. Mature means that people can rely on you, can depend on you. Mature people can have their own family. They can get married and they can have their own family, right?
Yeah.
So coming of age is this time when you are now responsible. You have a sense of responsibility. People can rely or depend on you, right? So in our culture as Arabs, what is this time in our age where we come of age, we become mature?
21.
21 in our culture?
20.
Uh,
Yeah,
uh,
21.
okay, I think
21.
21. So it's only so how about that? How about 18? What do you think? Because It's not 18, huh?
Yeah, maybe in
I'll,
Kuwait.
I'll tell you why I'm saying 18. I think people can go and have a driving license at the age of 18, right? Am I correct?
Yes, you are correct.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So coming of age, I think, is perhaps 18. Or yeah, okay. So it's in this neighborhood between 18 and 21, right? Right. Um, in certain cultures, and by culture I mean a group of people, a number of countries, for example. And as Arabs, we have our own culture. In North America, they have their own culture. In Europe, they have their own. In India and the surrounding countries, they also have their culture. In China and Japan and Korea, they have their own culture. They have a number of shared elements and shared characteristics. When it comes to coming of age, you're going to find that they agree. Perhaps the Japanese and the Korean are going to agree on when coming of age is celebrated and is marked. Okay. In certain cultures, they celebrate coming of age, and if you come of age in your family, they give a party. Okay. Okay. So this is part of it. We're going to also talk about festivals. What are festivals? Remember, I told you if you cannot get the meaning correct, you can give me examples.
Like Janadriya festivals.
Yeah, like in January festival. That's correct. Okay. So you know what
It's
that
a
festival?
place full of activities, fun activities.
Yeah, the place. It's not about the place. It's about the event. It's about when, and then after when comes where. Right? Which is more important? What's your name again?
Amjad.
Amjad. Okay.
Okay.
Amjad, do I know you? Have you
What?
taken something with me?
No.
Okay, so another Amjad, perhaps. Okay, so I'm talking about the when and the where when it comes to festivals. Which of them is more important? When the festival takes place or where it takes place?
When?
When.
When.
And then comes where, right?
Yeah.
You cannot have the where unless you have the when, right?
Yeah, that's right.
I'm hopeful that I'm not too philosophical about it. Sometimes okay, right. So whenever you have festivals, of course, you would have fireworks and you have different types of fun fairs and people enjoying themselves and having entertaining themselves in different ways. Okay. So this is what is going to happen in this theme. Okay. Right. And this part is again is listening, and perhaps for logistical reasons, we wouldn't play stuff. I would ask you to play the tapes and the not tapes because you're going to have your books online. So all you need to do is to kind of press a button or something. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is that we're going to keep the class to perhaps reading and writing activity. The listening is going to be an activity that you do on your own. It doesn't mean that we're going to leave the listening entirely. We're going to do the listening as if it is reading. So we're going to go to the transcript at the end of the book and read the whatever is on the recording, so that when you go home, it will be also you are home already when you go home. You will have it on the recording, perhaps more accessible. Right. Okay, so study the photographs on the opposite page. Where is this? Okay. If you have, do you guys have? No, you don't have the book. You haven't received the book yet, and it's going to be online through. They're going to give you codes that you're going to enter so that you can have access to the book. Anyway, so study the photographs on the opposite page. Okay, so these are the photographs. Can you see them? Are they clear enough?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is, doctor.
Yes, clear.
Yes.
Okay. So I'll give you perhaps less than a minute to look at them and then tell me what they have in common, what they have in common, what they share. I mean, there is an idea, wait, there is an idea that cuts across the different pictures. Okay? An idea that you see repeated in every and each picture. Okay? Look at them and then come up with a conclusion. Tell me what you think is happening. What is the main idea?
The wedding.
No, now just give yourself the opportunity to look at all of them. Okay?
Okay.
Culture?
Wait,
I think it's babies
no,
become mature.
wait يا جماعة.
I
Take
think
your time. يا جماعة,
For
يا جماعة.
mature.
Listen.
Can I
This is,
answer?
Sorry.
no, not yet. I said look at the different pictures. There are pictures that you even haven't seen, right?
yeah.
But I would like you to look at them, all of them.
Okay. Annual celebration.
Wait.
I think traditions.
Don't know what? What?
Traditions. Traditions.
Okay.
Is it
So
ceremony?
what I don't like is the fact that you're not listening to what I'm saying. And remember when we first started and I said that this is being irrelevant? If somebody gives a request, you answer accordingly, right? What did I say? I said I'll give you perhaps a minute to look at all the pictures and then come up with the idea and then let me know. You haven't done that because you haven't even seen all of the pictures, right? Until I minimized them. So, yani, show some patience. And again, think of the idea of relevance. When people tell you something, you act accordingly. Okay, you don't ask your own questions and answer them. This is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so if people are ready with answers, go ahead. So what do they have in common?
Annual celebrations.
These are celebrations. And
Celebrations
yeah, celebrations. Okay.
in a different place.
Okay.
And graduate, I think.
Yeah,
3
these
boys on top.
no, we're not talking about individual pictures. We're talking about the overall uh, idea. And the overall idea is made up of the different pictures. What is the overall idea? Somebody said celebrations. Somebody is saying,
Doctor.
yes.
Can we say annual or memorial celebrations?
We can say celebrations, and then we agree whether they are annual or monthly. How about that? Right?
Doctor,
We normally, يا جماعة, when we have, you know, a whole, something that is whole, and this whole is made up of parts or pieces. So these pieces come together in order to create the whole. صح كده؟ So whenever we talk about that, we start off very general and then specify. So what is general about this picture is that it is they are all about celebrations, right? صح?
Yeah.
And then we go to the details. You tell me perhaps that these are annual celebrations. One of them is perhaps coming of age celebration. Another is wedding. A third is people perhaps uh, getting baptized. Okay, right. Let's talk more about. So now the common thread, الخيط المشترك, is that we're talking about celebrations, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's look at these different celebrations. Are they all one and the same?
No.
No.
Okay.
No, doctor.
Okay, let's talk about it. Go ahead.
The first picture, talking about, I think, wedding.
Yeah, pictures. Okay, first of all, pictures do not talk, right?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
It talks about maybe
No,
a birthday.
no. You say it's a picture of. Remember when you said pictures? This is a picture of people doing this or that. Okay.
It's picture of different religion.
Okay. Nice. Good. Okay. Can we have somebody else?
I think 9 picture people celebration for the rain.
For what?
The rain.
The rain?
Because the rain is calm.
9.
Picture 9.
Yeah, only picture 9, but you're generalizing. Why are you generalizing?
Oh.
Doctor,
Go ahead.
it's a different kind of people, ages and colors.
Yeah, that's interesting. What's your name?
Rihan.
Rihan.
Professor,
And it's picture 7 is what?
Picture 7 is of people or Indian people who they are blessing their baby.
Yeah, okay. So do you think that these celebrations are for the most part religious celebrations?
Yeah, I think because it's an annual religious celebrations.
Okay. Which means
People.
that perhaps we have different religions in the pictures. Can you recognize any of the religions or any of the religious traditions in the pictures?
Yeah, picture 3 of Jewish, I think.
Okay. Yeah, 3 are Jews. These are Jewish people. Okay. What else?
And 9, it's Christian.
Yeah, 9 are Christian because they are being obviously baptized.
And 8 is Buddhist.
8, let me check. I don't know whether they're Buddhist or.
Maybe 7 is indoors.
What do they? Sometimes they call them Sikh.
Yeah.
Or
Sikh or Hindus.
Yeah, Hindus.
That.
Hindus. Yes, that's interesting.
And number 4.
Maybe number 4 is Muslim, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Perhaps they are in
somewhere
Indonesia.
From East
Indonesia is
Indonesia or Malaysia.
Yeah, or Malaysian, and these are Muslim. What?
3 Judaism.
Yeah, Judaism, which is Jewish. Very good. Thank you.
I think 10 is Masih.
Christian.
10? I don't see 10. 10 are Christian, you mean?
Masih.
Yeah. 10 and 9 are Christian. Masihi means Christian in English. Yeah. What's your name?
Jawhara.
Jawhara, Christian. Yes.
Number 8. Picture number 8, Korean. I think Buddha. I don't know what the kill.
Yeah, and they're Buddhist. Yeah, they can be Buddhist, like somebody said. Yeah, very good. MashaAllah. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Right. Okay, so previewing vocabulary. Let's talk about the idea. Um, wait. Let's talk about the idea or the ideas involved or included. Really, what do you think each ceremony is taking? Where do you think each ceremony is taking place? Okay, we're going to go back to the pictures. These are pictures of people, right, and places. Okay, and these are ceremonies. Give me, okay. So when I ask you about the meaning of a word, you either define the word. Define the word, it means you give me a definition. It can be a sentence, or you give me a synonym. Synonym is a word that has the same meaning. Okay, so the word ceremony. Give me a synonym for the word ceremony. Can you see ceremony?
Graduation.
What?
Graduation.
No, we say graduation ceremony, so it doesn't mean graduation, right? So what is a graduation ceremony?
I think people who finish studies.
It's you finish school or university, and you or your school or university gives a party, right? So a party is like a ceremony, but the word ceremony is more formal. رسمية أكتر.
Yeah, it's a formal religions or public occasion.
ماشي. Okay. Yes. Okay, so a synonym for the word ceremony would be party, right? But party is يعني casual and informal. So where do you think each ceremony is taking place? And also the word ceremony has sometimes, religious overtones. So these are different ceremonies. People are celebrating different things or different occasions. So where do you think this is happening? We spoke about that enough already, right? We know the countries, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think there's
So
a celebration hall for this.
what?
There is a celebration hall for a ceremony.
Yeah, I mean we're talking about countries and cultures. Okay. Give me a synonym for the word take place. Take place. Give me another word for take place. What? Take place means what? No. So somebody is, can you kindly mute your mic? Whoever is having her mic on, please mute your mic. طيب خلينا Okay.
It can be occur or
O-
happen.
Occur. So take place means occur
Or happen.
or happen. Okay, good. Occur or happen. So where do you think each ceremony is taking place? It means where do you think each ceremony is happening or taking place or occurring? Lee, what rituals do you think are involved? Okay, what rituals? Let's talk about the word rituals. And I think you wouldn't be able to define it, to give a sentence. So give me examples of rituals that we have in every culture.
I think in Arab country.
Yes.
Something
So
called Eid.
using what?
Eid. العيد.
Eid. Ah, okay. So obviously Eid, an occasion like Eid is not a ritual. It's what you do in Eid that we call ritual. So on Eid day, we perhaps put on nice new clothes. We go out, visit with our friends and family members, right? And then we go to restaurants to have perhaps lunch or dinner. But these are rituals. It's the steps or the things that you do on a certain occasion. When you go, for example, when you go for Umrah or Hajj have their own rituals, right?
Right.
You have to wear certain clothes, especially if we talk about men, right? And then they have to move around the Kaaba in a certain way, and then they go to Safa with Marwa. Do you create your own ritual when you go to Umrah? You do your own ritual. Well,
no,
there is a set of fixed rituals that you have to follow.
There is a set.
Yes. Okay. So these are called rituals. Do you know the meaning in Arabic?
Ritual. What?
يعني
no, I don't.
طقوس.
طقوس. Excellent. طقوس.
Okay.
Okay. During Ramadan, for example. So what are some of our rituals during Ramadan?
We
Fast.
fast in Ramadan.
We fast.
Yes.
We fast, and then we break our fast at sunset or sundown. And then after
Pray Tarawih.
we pray Taraweeh. These are all rituals, right? Okay.
As al-Hajj and the Umrah.
Yes, this is what I'm saying. So these are called rituals. And every religion and every culture has its own set of rituals, whether we're talking about perhaps marriage. We have our own wedding rituals, for example, right?
Yeah.
And it may differ from one country to another in the Arab world, right? But it's almost, it's very close, right? But in other cultures,
it's generally the same. Generally the same.
Yes. So you know what rituals are, right?
Yeah.
Doctor, sacrifice coming with that, yeah?
Different culture.
Sacrifice is what? Yeah, it can be one of the rituals. For example, in the, what do they call it? In the big Bayram, I think, or the greater Bayram, اللي هو العيد الكبير. People sacrifice sheep, right? Or perhaps cows. This is part of the ritual, right? Okay, so let's move further down where we have Juri Taku. And Juri Taku is an anthropology student. Okay, she's going to talk to her study group about a festival in Japan. Okay, so make a list of questions you expect to hear the answers to. So this is listening, remember. So what do we have here? We have a person that has a name. We have a job, and we have a place. So what is the person's name? Hello. Juri Taku. So Juri Taku is a name of a person, right?
Yeah.
So what is the job? What is the job that we have here?
Anthropology.
He is a student.
Being a student is a job in and of itself. So,
Yeah.
So the job here is being a student. And what kind of student? It's an anthropology student. We'll talk about anthropology in a minute. She's going to talk to her study group about a festival in Japan. Where are we? Where are we going? Where are we going?
To Japan.
To Japan. What
Japan.
for? Why?
For a festival?
Festival in
Yeah,
Japan.
Festival,
okay. So
Japan.
Juri Taku is going to talk about a festival in Japan, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And we're saying that Juri is a student, and what kind of student? She's a student of anthropology. She studies anthropology. Okay. Let's talk about you. You're students of what? Some of you are information.
Web development.
Yeah, which is information technology, right? So let's have one. One of you is come with a name. What's your name? What's your name? Anyone?
Asil.
Asil. Asil is an IT student, right?
Yeah.
Somebody perhaps belongs to the English department. We say that Mona is a literature student. She studies literature, right? Somebody, no, we don't have history. We don't have a history department. But if we do, we could say that Ali is a history student, right?
Yeah. I love to do this.
And of course, we have people who are business. We say that, do we have business students here?
Yeah, me, accounting.
Okay. So we say that, what's your name?
My name is Nof.
Noof. Noof is an accounting student, or Noof is a business student, right? Okay.
A computer
yeah,
science
accounting.
student.
Me? What?
A computer science student.
Yeah, yeah. What's your name?
Ranim.
Ranim. Ranim is a computer science student, for example. Okay. Anyway, so again, back to Juri. Juri Taku is an anthropology student. So anthropology is, what do we call it? It's a subject area, and sometimes you call it a discipline. So computer science is a discipline. English is a discipline, history is a discipline, sociology is a discipline, and anthropology is also a discipline. علم يعني من العلوم. مادة دراسية. Okay. So what is it that people who study anthropology do? What do? They study people. They study traditions and festivals. They study human habits and customs. Okay, so that's why Judy is going to talk about festivals, because festivals involve people. Okay.
So she's traveling for a research or something.
I'm not sure. Perhaps the university that we're talking about that she is from is in Japan, because her name looks, sounds Japanese. Juri Taku, right? Okay. So what do you think she will be talking about if she's talking about a festival in Japan? What kind of questions do you think you can ask her? Let's assume that she is now in front of you and she's presenting. But before she presents, I would like you to ask her questions.
What is the habits in your festival?
Okay. What are the festival habits? Right.
What
in
was
Japan?
the festival for?
Why? Why are the Japanese celebrating this festival? Yes. Very good.
Why you take this subject to talk about?
Yeah, excellent. Why did you choose this festival or this subject to talk about?
Yeah.
What do you call this festival?
What?
What do you call this festival?
What do they call? What do the Japanese call these festivals? Yeah, the festival.
What kind of clothes do they wear?
What?
What kind of clothes do they wear?
Yeah, excellent. What kind of clothes do they wear during this festival? Okay. What is the time or the date of this festival? So it takes place between, yeah. So what is it that people do during the festival? What are the rituals? Remember rituals?
Yes,
Who is
طقوس.
it for?
Who is it for? ماشي. طيب. What is it that I want us to do? I would like us to go to the script at the end of the book. This is going to be 1.1. 1.1, and hopefully I can find it easily. Yes, that's the one. Okay, so what is it that I want you to do now? I would like you to read the presentation that she has given. Okay?
Yeah.
Is it clear
It's
enough?
kind of hard to read.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll try to make it as big as I possibly can. Can you read it now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I cannot make it any bigger. Yalla, go ahead. I'll give you a minute or two. Remember, this is something that we are supposed to listen to. So you will have the recording and you can always play it back home. But we're doing it as a reading conversation. Yalla, go ahead. I'll give you a minute. Done?
Yeah, I am there.
Okay. There were pauses and there were missing words. I mean, let me ask you about these missing words. Did they stand in the way of understanding? Did you
No.
find it difficult to understand without those?
Yes, some
Yes.
word in there.
Somehow, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But you got the meaning, you got the overall idea, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Yeah, we got the general idea.
okay. I would like you to read it again without the pauses. The pauses are no more. The gaps and the missing words. Read it one more time and you have a minute.
Okay.
So we're gonna give the
Yeah, read
missing
it.
word.
Yeah, they are there now. Done?
Yes.
Okay. Interesting, right?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Hi. I'll stop on this note, and with this item, I need to perhaps have 5 minutes to talk about things. First of all, we need to create a WhatsApp group so that we can have, whenever there is a quick notification or something, we can reach out to each other. I need somebody to create a WhatsApp group for us. Can somebody do that?
We already have a
Okay.
WhatsApp group.
No, I don't want. I mean, I need
Another group for you
yeah,
and
yeah.
us.
A new group.
one.
Okay.
Yeah, a new one, and I don't want to be the group to be shared with other teachers. Every teacher can have his or her own group. So our group is going to be EL111 group, and then we put, of course, the session number.
Okay.
Okay. I need to give you my phone number. I don't know whether I should give it here or perhaps.
Who will take the number?
Okay. So somebody who is going to
You
create?
want to take the number and make the group?
You're going
Okay
to
for
do
me.
that?
It's okay for me. I will share to the group and to join.
Okay, which means the first step would be how. Now, what do you need? You need to give us your number so that we can send you.
No. I need your number and make the group and make the students coming in.
How can they come in the group?
Because we have another group.
Okay. Are you all part of this group, Emma?
Yes.
But I'm
We
not
already
in the
have a
group,
group.
guys.
Okay.
You
So
are not?
so
I'm
this
not
is
in the
this
group.
is
The
this
admin
is
is Malak. Why she didn't add the doctor to
yeah,
that
Can you say
group
your
already?
number
We have it.
my
so we
number.
can talk to you and you? No, not you, teacher.
Me?
Okay.
My number?
Yes.
Okay. 056 أخدتي؟
Yes.
056 608 3724.
Okay.
So what's your name?
My name is Noof.
Ivanov is going to be in charge of the group. Okay, let me. So how can we? Can you send me an email and then I can reply and give you my number, Ivanov?
How?
You don't, guys. You don't know my email?
Email?
Yeah.
Is it the one?
I think
Is it
we
the
have.
one we already received?
I know your email, doctor.
I share it with Noof. And Noof, I would like you to send me an email and I'll reply and I'll give you my number so that you can add me to the group.
Okay.
Okay. This is number one. Number two is we need to write as much as we can. So every time we meet, we have to write. And this time, I would like you to write. I would like you to choose a festival that you like or that you recommend in your country. And I would like you to do like remember Suji was her name, Yuri, or I don't know, remember her name. I would like you to tell me about the festival in terms of time and place and rituals and what people do. Okay, I would like you to write a paragraph, not an essay. Okay, a
Doctor, can she
paragraph.
repeat her number?
My number. Can you repeat your number, Anuf?
Okay. 056
Okay.
608
Mhm.
3724.
طيب نرسل لك رسالة وأنت ترسلي لنا رابط المشاركة بتاع الجروب.
Okay. Right, anyway.
Okay.
So we're now talking about the writing that you should do and that you should send perhaps by Saturday. So the deadline would be Saturday. And I would like you to send it to an email that is different from my university email. The email that I would like you to send, I'll send you the email once I become part of the group. When Noor sends her number and I become a member of the group, I can send you the email that I want you to send your assignments to. How about that? Okay? No, not assignment. I need to keep you busy. I need you to write as much as you can. Again, one more thing. I think once every 2 weeks is not going to be enough. So what I'm suggesting is that we meet every week at the same time. How about that?
دكتور وش المطلوب؟
So
Why
every
don't you make it
Tuesday
at night,
you'll
Doctor? That's
give
okay
us.
with everyone.
So every Tuesday we have a meeting at 12 p.m.
I think there is
Same
there
time.
is student they scheduled another
Yeah, we
courses
have
at this time.
we have another.
والله it's optional. يعني I think
Maybe it's hard. For me
يعني
it's okay. For me it's okay. I can handle
إن
it.
شاء الله تكون okay for everyone. Okay, so we're meeting every week at the same time at 12 p.m. and we're using the same link, the same room link. Is that clear?
Okay, is that going to be recorded, Doctor?
Inshallah, we'll make sure that all the classes are recorded. Let me also, when I receive the group link and I become part of the group, I'll give you links to videos that we have made for the course. If you're
دكتور
familiar.
يعني أنت كل أسبوع عندنا ولا كل أسبوعين؟
المفروض كل اسبوعين بس عشان نغطي فهضطر اضحي واقابلكم كل اسبوع. How about that؟ فمحتاجكم تضحوا انتوا كمان.
يعطيك العافية.
We will do.
طيب خلاص؟
We will do.
إن
You
شاء الله.
deserve that and you deserve
اوكي.
that.
طيب نعم.
يعني
So it's
بيكون
official every Thursday.
بيكون نفس اليوم ونفس الوقت يعني؟
بالضبط كل اسبوع.
على نفس الرابط دكتور؟
على نفس الرابط.
Doctor, I made a group and some students joined.
If some people cannot, they will have the record. They can listen to the recording.
دكتور لو سمحت في جروب أحد سوى جروب؟
Yes.
اي انا سويت.
talk to Noor.
طيب ممكن بس تسجلي رقمك في المحاضرة أو ترسليه أو كيف عشان
اعطيك اياه الحين وارسل لي